Now we're going into one of the great art treasures in the world, the Musée d'Orsay. The Impressionists are all here. We've now entered the Orsay, and this was formerly a train station in the last century. In this museum, you will find the largest collection of Impressionists in the world. This is the place to find the real motherlode of these treasures. Seurat's in here. He's a post-impressionist, and we'll see him towards the end, along with Van Gogh and Rousseau and others like that. We're going to see Pissarro. We're going to see Renoir, of course, Monet, Manet. We'll see the early forerunners of Impressionism, Corot and Millet.
Degas.
We'll see Degas, yeah, with his little sculptures, too. He'd like to paint the little ballerinas. The little ballerina. So we're going to start our visit to the museum by just walking through the sculpture gallery here. And look at the clock. Look at that clock up there. That's the original station clock. These are all original. The galleries were put in on the ground floor. Now we're going to start basically chronologically. And so we're going to go into this first room and we'll see some paintings by Millet and Corot. These are realists that were just before the Impressionists, from like 1820s, 1830s. The poorest of the farmers are the gleaners, who pick up after the harvest. So it's like the second harvest. And they're just picking up the little bits of grain that are left over. So again, we have Millet. And Manet was really about the earliest of the Impressionists. And this painting you're looking at with the naked lady is called Olympia. And it really shocked the society, as you can imagine. So we're still just before the period of Impressionism. And you'll find more Manets. He loved the Spanish scenes with the bullfights and the Spanish lady. And in the back, a couple of more very famous pieces by Manet. So have a look at those, and then we'll go on to the next room. You want to come around to the back of the building, and there's this sort of hidden escalator. There's not a lot of signs pointing to it, but there it is, and that'll take us right to the top and right into the main rooms. Now it begins. It's a whole series of rooms. There's about a dozen galleries like this that are just filled with all of these masterpieces. Behind me are a bunch of Pissarros, and you're going to find some Monets here, and then there'll be some more Monets later on, and they're kind of scattered around, Renoir as well too. Yeah, I don't want you to miss some things, so I've already mentioned to you that when you're through the Impressionist rooms, you want to keep going on this floor beyond the cafeteria, and there you're going to find the Van Gogh and the Post-Impressionists, the Seurat, and some Rousseau. Yeah, so if you want to come along with me, I can tell you about some more of these as we go. Now, you know, the Impressionists early on were rejected by the establishment. When they first started showing this kind of work, not only were this kind of nude subjects shocking and inappropriate, but their style, their soft focus kind of a style, was not accepted by the existing academies. And they set up their own exhibit one year, and it was a real breakthrough kind of an exhibit. And everybody flocked to see this new kind of art. And then, all of a sudden, they became the most important painters in town. Young rebels. Young rebels became the establishment. And now these are the most expensive paintings in the world. Degas with a different kind of a subject, the working ladies. These are maids, and they're doing the ironing. You know, they're taking care of business. But you see here, it's before the dance, and it's almost capturing the motion of these young ballerinas. These were all made after his death. This is Renoir at its best. It's the Moulin de la Galette, and it's my personal favorite painting in the museum. Although there's some Van Goghs that will really knock your eyeballs out too, but this one in particular, what a fabulous piece. The Moulin de la Galette, you see the joyful, carefree afternoon. It's a dance hall, and it's actually up on the hill in Montmartre. It's a place that they used to really love to just hang out every day. They'd be up there. So Renoir captured this feeling of motion and entertainment and the light, the dappled light coming in, the sunshine and the shadows. Over behind me now is 3 paintings by Monet of a cathedral at Rouen. And it's the same cathedral, but each painting looks a little different because it was different seasons or different times of the day. And he painted them all from the same place. He had a room there overlooking the cathedral. And it just shows the different interpretations of reality. You have that same structure, but it looks so different in each one of the paintings. He did the same thing with a series of haystacks, too, different seasons, different times of the day. This is a self-portrait by Van Gogh. And in here, he really broke all the rules. Look at the wild color and the brush strokes in there. It's almost the face of a lion somehow. The color just streams back. And he did a series of self-portraits like this. There's about maybe 10 of these kind of self-portraits, but I think this is the finest of all of them. It's just so colorful and so unnatural and unreal, and yet it fits together so beautifully and harmoniously. Self-portrait. And then on the other side is a real famous Van Gogh, the artist's bedroom. You see, this is the room that he lived in the little town where he ended his life. And that was his actual room. You really should make time in your visit to Paris to go into the Musée d'Orsay. It just has the world's greatest collection of Impressionist masterpieces. We segue from painting of the train station to the real thing. We're leaving Paris. We've had 3 full days and nights here. We've done a lot. We've accomplished everything on our list. So now it's time to go. We're off to London, going by train underneath the English Channel. It's the Eurostar, Europe's newest, brightest, fastest train, in first class deluxe with the food brought to us and served at our seats. What a treat. And while riding along, we reflect back upon our visit to Paris with our Hawaii Geographic Society tour members.
I enjoyed visiting among the people that's actually living there. You know, you kind of walk in the streets, for example, last night in the Latin Quarter, just among the locals. Of course, there are a lot of tourists there too, but I think it's kind of sad for the people coming to Waikiki in Honolulu, and just being among tourists. Right. I enjoyed that.
How'd you like Paris?
How about the food?
Yeah, sure.
They use more kinds of meat than we ever thought of. We only have hamburger. They have pig snuggles and duck and all kinds of good things there.
I thought your tour of the Louvre was especially interesting.
Saw a lot of the historical places that we always read and see on TV, and it was just terrific walking around and seeing those places.
I loved it very much. I was here 30 years ago, and it was so nice to come back again, so I really enjoyed it.
It gave me a different perspective. Before I went to Paris, all I thought of Paris is high fashion, fast-paced, but seeing the back street, seeing a lot of beautiful gardens, and it just gave me a different perspective that Paris is not just high fashion. It's all, I mean, it has the other side of it, the lovely side of it too. And the best thing about Paris is I didn't get to spend money.
Yeah. We kept you too busy.
Shopping.
We kept you too busy.
The highlight of my trip was seeing the Mona Lisa in person.
You like that?
I love it.
My favorite part,
Yes.
Eiffel Tower at night, on the Bateau Mouche,
Yes, the full moon.
like a big Christmas tree.
Yeah,
Well, I like the Eiffel Tower and the Louvre and walking around the city.
Oh, it was just one highlight after the other, from the Eiffel Tower to the Orsay to the Louvre, the Versailles Palace, all of that. I mean, just, you know, it's just a great experience. You know, Notre Dame, of course, and the windows. That's beautiful. Great experience.
April in Paris, everything we thought it would be. It was wonderful.
It's a great, great city. We had a great time there.
Started with the concert in Notre Dame, ended with the Baton Rouge.
And the walk through the Tuileries in the park with all the blooming flowers. It's great.
Orsay, that was really, really memorable. Yes.
All the Impressionists, Renoir, Monet, Manet.
Oh yes, Renoir, Monet. That was really the highlight. Really, thank you, Dennis.
That Orsay Museum was very fantastic, beautiful. And thanks to you, Dennis, for the fine restaurants that we all enjoyed. Thanks again.
Oh, what a walking.
I love to see the River Seine. I've read about it and dreamt about it, and I finally got to see it.